Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now. Hello world, I'm Chris Pirillo, and this is the Locker Gnome Daily Report, or TLDR for short, your daily dose of tech news, gadget views, and answers that you can use. You could also probably use an experience of meeting Lamar Wilson in person, which you'll be able to do at Vlogger Fair, because he's coming along. Some of you might remember Lamar's videos in this very channel a few years ago. In fact, I first met Lamar, and I guess kind of got him going in all of this stuff years ago. He came to my old conference, Gnomedex. Lamar, did I get you started in all this? I'm sorry. Or maybe I'm happy, because he's climbing the charts. And just to put the rumor at rest right now, we're not twins. Gosh, when are you guys gonna get that through your heads? Video editing on the Mac, Premiere Pro or Final Cut Pro? Being someone who's never used Premiere Pro, I can't really speak to it directly other than to say, well, some people actually like it. I'm more of a fan of Final Cut Pro X. That's the program I use to edit the vlogs every day because it's easy and it's powerful. In fact, one of the reasons I started using Final Cut Pro instead of iMovie is because of the multi-threading and being able to process things in the background versus iMovie, where you get caught up in this modal dialogue that doesn't let you do anything else until it's finished processing what it's trying to process. My dad also edits video, although he uses iMovie on his iPhone, and even though he had a Windows computer with the software that was capable of allowing him to edit videos and then upload them to YouTube, he never did it. Why? Because the process was too confusing. The iPhone made it easier. He downloads software all the time, and he's actually producing on his phone. I keep telling you guys, it's a pocket computer. My whine of the day is, why did Google kill Google Reader? Did you even know what Google Reader was? Well, those of us who grew up with blogging, we could create these RSS feeds automatically with our blogging platform of choice, and then subscribe to them and have other people subscribe to these RSS feeds. And unfortunately, feed readers are kind of, well, a dead or dying breed. A lot of people moved to Google Reader over blog lines or desktop clients like Feed Demon, which was also apparently killed last night. I saw the post, Nick. Nick's an old friend and also a former Gnomedexer when I was running the series of conferences. It's just, we don't need feed readers as much anymore because we have social. And I'm not saying that Twitter and Facebook and Google Plus or even YouTube is a replacement for a feed reader that aggregates all those feeds. It's just that even though I had access to Google Reader and I had an account and I had organized feeds in it, inevitably I would catch most of my information when you guys share it, and I'm following you on all of those networks, including this one, which is why it's very, very important that if you like the content that you are watching or reading or viewing, that you like and share it with your friends. That is probably how they're going to discover it, because I'm guessing they're probably not also subscribed to people like me, but they might be. You might want to ask. But even if you never heard of Google Reader, don't feel bad, because a very dedicated group of people loved Google Reader. Just hasn't had much attention lately. But if you're looking for a Google Reader alternative and you don't want to go with something like Flipboard, you might look into Feedly. And apparently Digg, yeah, I remember them, Digg, D-I-G-G, is working on building a reader. RSS isn't dead yet. And yes, you can subscribe to all of my feeds. I'll feed you open wide. Whoa! In other news, Facebook is set to introduce hashtags? Pound wow! I've long believed that hashtags could be useful on Facebook, if only to connect you with people who are also using the hashtags if you've already friended them. I don't know if a global hashtag search would be as useful, or if they allow at least 2 columns or some kind of bifurcated experience where you can see everybody who's using the hashtag and then distill it down to just the people you're following using the hashtag. Oh, and Chris Messina, the person who kind of proposed the idea of hashtags, working much like IRC does with rooms, over on Geek Shed, you could join the Chris room. That's still a part of the live video feed at live.pirillo.com. It's kind of where the hashtag came from on Twitter, but it was inspired by IRC. Thank Chris Messina, and I believe he was Gnomedex 2006. I'll have to check the Wikipedia page for it. Leaked videos show Galaxy S4 Smart Pause, eye tracking, and new lock screen. I realize this is a Galaxy Note 2, but imagine you're watching a video on the screen. It would be able to detect that your eyes are focused on the screen, and as soon as you turn away, it'll pause the video. Seems kind of useful, unless you're in a situation where you don't want the video to pause when you look away. So I don't really know if I would ever want to toggle that on. Eye tracking technologies could work so long as they don't get annoying. I was embroiled in a Facebook conversation last night with my friend Kevin Yuri, who lives here in Seattle, and he was a little dismayed that the rumors of the Samsung Galaxy S4 didn't seem to be that much of an improvement over the Galaxy S3, and I had to remind him that that was actually a good thing, because people who are familiar with the way the Samsung Galaxy S3 works would probably want a very similar experience, but of course, an upgraded experience. I mean, much like the same for iOS users. How does Apple keep you moving forward wanting to buy new iOS devices? It isn't by making radical changes. Companies only make radical changes when what's working isn't working. Think about it. When do companies change something radically? When this is happening. Windows 8 was a radical departure in user experience because people have been buying fewer and fewer PCs over the years. They had to make a bold move. I still think it's the wrong move, and apparently OEMs don't disagree. Either way, incremental improvements over a platform and a brand only indicate market success. So congratulations, Samsung. You deserve it. Although I gotta tell you, Samsung, this really kind of upset me today. I was going through to see if I had a software update, and this dialog popped up on my Samsung Galaxy S3. Access to the software update service is provided to users in the order in which they request it. Try later. Huh? Well, of course it's provided to users in the order in which they requested it. Where the hell's the period at the end of that last sentence? If you'd even call it a sentence. Is that an Android problem or an Android ecosystem problem because Android enabled Samsung or possibly even the carrier to give me that kind of dialogue? Try later. That's the best you could do? You couldn't send me a push notification when it's ready to be downloaded? Come on, dude. Sloppy. Whoa, this just in. Apple has released OS X 10.8.3 with Mac App Store gift card camera redemption and boot camp enhancements. Whoopee! Oh, I almost forgot. You can name your own price in our Indie Gamer Bundle on deals.lockergnome.com. You can get all 6 of these games. All you need to do is just set your own price. Yes, really, set your own price. Right now, we've sold 2,000 bundles. And let's see here. The top price someone's paid is $43. Thank you, Melanie Telford. Of course, the lowest price I think someone's paid has been like $1. These games are available for both OS X and Windows, so pay what you want and get them now. Don't say I haven't tried. The link, as always, say it with me, is in this video's description. I bet you like to tap that, because you don't really click links when you're on a phone or a tablet computer with a touchscreen. You tap them. Our question of the day is brought to you by GoDaddy.com. If you want to save money on your next purchase, just email me first, chris@Pirillo.com. I will send you my latest list of coupons. And the question is, how do I mount an ISO file in Windows 8? I don't know if you knew this, but you can do it natively. You don't need to install any additional software. Did you know that? It's great. You can create a virtual disk that you can then mount as a real drive on Windows 8 without installing anything else. Any other questions? Feel free to ask. You know I'm here for you, and hopefully you're there for me as well. Thanks again for liking and sharing this video with all of your friends. We really appreciate the support because we couldn't do this without you, and you couldn't watch this without us. We'll see you later.